What is going down, everybody? It's time for Mojobreak.com, The Hype, episode number 169. We're nearing the end of 2020. We got a lot of stuff going down today. We're going to have Scott Greenberg from StarStock on the show to talk about StarStock. And you guys got to check out that site. I'm actually already going to be sending in some of my cards to StarStock. But a great, insightful interview here at the end of the show. We did record this here on Tuesday, but we are live in the chat. So don't hesitate to comment on any of these topics today in the chat. And contribute, because we have a big release we're doing. You guys may have already seen some of us, seen us breaking here earlier today of 1920 Flawless basketball. And it really comes on the perfect time with basketball starting back up. We just had a couple games Tuesday night. We got a lot of games here on Wednesday, and it's crazy times. Dan, how are you doing?
Just loving it. It's that fourth quarter push, because not only Flawless, you got Bowman's Best, you got Obsidian, Transcendent coming out before the end of the year. I don't know. I looked on the schedule. It's TBD.
TBD? To be determined.
We don't know. A New Year's Eve release of Transcendent, maybe?
Yep. Bring us in here. Let's do it. We'll do it. We'll rip it.
Yeah. So, I don't know, man. What's up? You excited for Flawless? You excited to go logo man hunting?
Yeah, here's one of the cases, man. I hope that has the Zion LeBron dual logo man in there, because I want to be able to pull that. I know C-Rad's pulled 2 LeBron logo mans already. I have not pulled one, so I want to be able to pull one in this case right here. It's center stage. It's making its hype debut.
I got it. I'm calling my shot.
You're calling it?
Calling my shot.
You're going to pull it? You're going to pull the logo man?
I will pull a logo man.
A logo man. Well, you pulled it on day one of Immaculate. You got the Mike Bibby.
That's what I do. It's what I do. These fire fingers, they just go out there. They pull out logo mans.
Firefinger Dan. Well, a lot of you guys, we're going to go over some of the history of Flawless, so stay tuned for that. And then obviously the StarStock interviews coming up at the end of the show as well. So action-packed show here, guys. Episode 169. But for those that are maybe new to us, we do group breaks. We also do a podcast weekly as well and content. We have a great video out there of top 5 cards to buy, so check that out on the Mojobreak Media channel. But we've been breaking literally for 10 years. It doesn't seem that long to me. Some days it does seem that long, some days it doesn't. But it's been a heck of a ride. 10 years of breaking, as you can see here on one of our very first videos being played on the screen. You got to start somewhere, so don't grade us on quality there. Got to remember that was 2010. How does it feel, Dan? 10 years of breaking.
I don't know. Your monologue started off like you were basically announcing that you were done. Like, you're all been doing it for 10 years.
I'm out.
Had a hell of a run. But my final break will be Flawless, and then I'm bouncing. That's what basically you were. Dude, I got 10 years left in the tank, I think. I don't know. Maybe I'm halfway through it. Maybe I'm a quarter way through it. I got 40 years in the tank of ripping.
I'll be on my deathbed ripping cards, man. That's for real.
You gotta keep up with the technology, though. It might be just digital breaks, like hologram cards.
I'll be a hologram.
You're gonna be a hologram?
Yeah.
Okay, I like it.
Yeah, just be my hands and then a hologram of me younger. No, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how the technology is.
10 years, we've seen the industry change. We've seen the way products are made change. We've seen how people collect. We've seen that change. So after a decade into it, what can we expect going into the next decade? Where do you think it's going, Doug?
I wish I could say it's going this way, but I'm going to go with the old I don't know. I know things are I know I stole your thunder there. I know things are hot right now, and cards are at an all-time high, and that's incredible. Nobody could have predicted it, and I don't know what's going to happen in this next 10 years of this hobby. Obviously, these cards are dependent on the rookie class and the players performing. And, just hopefully to have a shot to break for another 10 years is all that I ask. You guys allow us to keep breaking and having fun doing this show. So thanks to you guys that listen to us and buy into our breaks. But I don't know. I have no idea. I don't know if licenses are going to change. Who knows? But it'll be fun to watch.
That's something that I always actually think about. I think about we are at the mercy of every rookie class, but we're also at the mercy of the licensing.
Yeah.
You never know. We've seen things happen just in a in a decade.
Yeah.
We've seen license change. So, I mean, who knows?
I mean, there's a lot of money floating around there. I mean, Fanatics has pretty much got the stranglehold on all the merchandise, right? I mean, if everybody goes through Fanatics, I mean, if you order from 49ers.com, sometimes it ships from Fanatics. So, I mean, they've got a lot of money in the sports game, and they're already doing those Fanatics exclusives with Panini. I would not be shocked if they somehow had a license and started creating cards. Now, I don't know if they want to. It's a lot of undertaking. Panini will be the first to tell you that. It's a big undertaking to do that. But, I mean, if they really pushed hard for a license, I couldn't see the NBA, NFL, one of them saying no, because they pretty much do all their memorabilia. So it's kind of hand in hand there, right?
Yeah, that's a good point. I think that's kind of the low-hanging fruit, Fanatics. I mean, any other company you could think of getting maybe switching, maybe obtaining a license that's already a manufacturer?
I mean, there's the rumble. I mean, if you look at the financials, you could think Panini could buy out Upper Deck to retain some of those exclusives. But from the rumblings of what we've heard around in the industry is that the Upper Deck would rather just claim bankruptcy before they sold to Panini. Very heated competition in that regard. But I mean, I could see that somehow. I mean, that it's just an offer that's just, hey, we can't refuse this offer. Like, you're going to get LeBron, you're going to get Jordan, you're going to get all these other exclusives. You can now make Exquisite. You can now make, SP Authentic. You can make Black, whatever, start making those releases.
All right. And I feel like I'm leading this interview.
That's great.
I don't know. I don't know. Maybe it's the day we're doing it.
I took the show off, so I got to get right back in.
So we do have Formula One making its debut. Topps having the license for that. They're coming out with a Formula One Dynasty and a Formula One Chrome. What do you think that's going to be all about? You think you've seen Panini in their racing license? Do you think Topps does it differently? Do you think Formula One completely has a different market? And is there a crossover between the NASCAR fans and the Formula One fans?
I don't think so. I think it's in a category of its own, and I think there's just there's a lot to compare it best here, in my opinion, is that you have Tiger Woods. I don't watch golf. I don't play golf, but I want a Tiger Woods card, right? I think it's the same thing. Lewis Hamilton has transcended that sport, and he's not had any cards, really, besides his Topps Now cards. So it's a culmination of him. It's like the biggest maybe racer of all time, Formula One racer of all time. And the hype is crazy. I mean, we'll see once the product comes out if it lives up to the hype, but I mean, I don't feel that WNBA had this much hype, and WNBA continues to be pretty solid as far as secondary returns.
Yeah, and I remember it wasn't that long ago when Panini got the racing license for NASCAR, and there was a little bit of buzz before it came out, but nothing like we're seeing with the Formula One buzz. Like when Topps announced it, and they announced they were coming out with Dynasty and then Chrome. It was, I mean, off the charts. Yeah. Like everything instantly allocated.
Yeah. Yep.
So I don't know. Is it the time that we're living in? Is it the fact that like all products are super hot right now, that like if you're gonna run out a new line or a new license, like this is like the prime time to do it?
I think so, and I think it's everybody's just looking for the next guy. Like people can't afford Zion, people can't afford Luka. I mean, crazy, right? Can't afford Luka, can't afford Zion, can't afford Jason Dominguez. There's just a line of people that like, oh, I missed out on him. I got to find the next one. And I think this falls right in line with that. They're like, I got to get in on Lewis Hamilton at the bottom. I got to be the guy that gets his chrome refractor, whatever it is, and I got to get that thing PSA 10. I got to be the first one to get it, and it's going to create that separation, and then the cards are going to, go up even farther from
like
there.
How you said PSA 10. They don't hand those out.
No, it's hard.
Those are very difficult to get.
Very difficult to get. Well, let's talk Flawless, man. We've been breaking Flawless since 12/13, since the first year they made it. So you can see some images here of the 12/13 release here, highlighted by the double rookie class, which most people don't even remember or weren't even collecting then. The NBA had basically did a strike for the 11-12 season. So they took the rookies from the 11-12 season and the 12-13 season and combined them into one release calendar, and Flawless kind of culminated that. It was announced late. Immaculate and Flawless were announced super late in the calendar. Also, Damien Lillard was a Leaf exclusive on the autographs for the entire, most of the year. So somehow they got Damien Lillard away from Leaf. You can only get his on-card rookie autos in Flawless. Everything else is a sticker. So literally there's only like 20 Damien Lillard on-card Panini licensed autos. You can only find them in Flawless. And maybe some replay. There might have been a few of those. And then obviously Anthony Davis and the birth of the diamond card, which, set the world on fire. Everybody, there's diamonds in cards now. I actually happen to be on my honeymoon when that product actually finally came out. I mean, we were sweating. We were like, man, this is, what was it, $1,200 a box? And which was unheard of at the time. We're like, this is not going to sell. Nobody's going to buy this at $1,200 a box. We're not going to sell this product. We're not going to be able to do group breaks. And I know you were on the front line, like literally opening the first case, not knowing what to expect.
I debuted it.
You debuted it for us.
I was shaking.
You were, yeah. I remember.
Shaking.
I was watching it from my balcony in Hawaii, watching you break cards.
Yeah, I was not in a balcony in Hawaii. I was in a like an 8x8 box.
Yes, yeah.
And it was a good time.
I think I can't remember. Did your first case? Did you get like a Kyrie or something? I think maybe a Damian Lillard.
No, I don't know if it was a Damian Lillard. It could have been a Kyrie.
So when you pop that thing open and you were opening it for the first time, were you like this?
Like just another day at the office, bro.
Just another day at the grind. Yeah, I mean,
we talked about it before, and we were like, man, like, at what point are they gonna make a product where it's gonna retail for $1,000 a box?
Yeah,
and this is it. And I remember, like, we were all, this is it, like. And I remember opening it, and I'm like, I don't know if we're going to be able to sell it. I don't know if the value's there. It's only 10 cards, a briefcase. Like, what? This is
first of all, it was the first product that ever came in a briefcase. Mind you that.
Then I'm like, this is too expensive. But we did one case, and then I was like, all right, that was really, really cool. But I still don't think that the average consumer is ever going to be able to afford this. Right. So I actually was on the fence. I was like, it's cool, but we're talking baseball cards and we're talking thousands of dollars at this point.
Well, basketball cards, but still. Yeah,
well,
baseball cards in general. Yeah, I get what you're saying.
It's like Coca-Cola, man.
It is baseball
like,
cards.
You know what? Go outside and look at our sign. Does it say trading cards?
No.
Does it say sports cards? No, it says baseball cards because it's like Coca-Cola.
It is. Like Kleenex, right? You don't say tissue Kleenex. It doesn't matter. Somebody gives you an off-brand, you're like, no, I asked for a Kleenex, man. I throw it away. No, I get what you're saying. It's definitely the name of the sports card game. But, yeah, 12, 13. And I also remember watching Dan. I think he broke like 3 cases, and I was amazed. I was like, people are buying this stuff. They like it. It's cool. Look at the patches. I mean, it's insane. So I called up my distributor and I ordered I think I could have literally ordered 100 if I wanted at that time, but I was like, how much is it now? And it was I think we paid $2,400 at the time for a case.
And I think it went up.
I think it went to $4,000 and I'm like, are you serious?
No, I think it went up to, I think it was 28.
Okay, yeah.
And this is early in the game where we're like, whoa. Yesterday it was 24.
Yeah.
Why is it 28 now? And the things that we've learned over the last, because now, I mean, everybody knows what the market does, but before it even releases. But I remember I was like, no, man. I'm like, we're not paying an extra $400 on a case. That passed.
So I think I ordered a couple, and then I called them back next week, and it was another 1,000, and it just kept eventually climbing. Now, mind you, this year's Flawless is retailing for 14. It's going to probably be 14 or 15,000. I think right now it's 13 if you can find it, 13 or 14,000. So when this came out, this was 3,000 retail. Now it's 11, 12, 13, 14, 15,000. Who knows what it ends at, because they make so much. They don't make that much. Sorry, I said so much, but they make very little of this product because all cards are numbered to 25. So that kind of just shows you how much this hobby's grown from the introduction to the highest end product to 7 years later now, where this product is worth this much. So it just shows you how many more people have bought into this product and want these cards. So you can go to the 13-14, which was a laugher because at the time, Giannis, nobody cared. Nobody cared about Giannis. Nobody could say his name. We were talking about Giannis back in the day. We're like, nobody's going to buy Giannis because you can't say his name. And then Michael Carter-Williams was the Rookie of the Year. This product came out after the season, so they actually had cards with Michael Carter-Williams, Rookie of the Year, on the card. And it was Oladipo. And literally people were probably happier to get a Kobe Bryant than any of the rookies that year. But little do we know, years and years later, $40,000, $50,000 Giannis came out of these boxes. And Giannis is the name for 1314. So, but we thought at the time, like, nobody's going to buy Flawless. Now, there's not even any rookies. There's literally no rookies to chase in this class. But, people that scored on the Bucks in our PYTs, which I'm sure were like $200 or $300 maybe back then for a case to buy the Bucks.
Under 100.
You think under 100 for a case of the Bucks? You think so?
Yeah.
Probably. I wouldn't be surprised. We could probably find that in our receipts. But those people made out like bandits if they held on to those Giannis. But that's the game. Did you hold on to it or did you sell it? Did you sell it too early, right? So then you got 14-15, which had the introductions of the USA triple autos, which made it a little tricky from Group Break's perspective. And it also broke hearts. Broke a lot of hearts. There was a lot of people that were disappointed because you had to random the card between the teams. You also had to explain to people what team they played for. So what were your thoughts on them introducing that the USA triple auto?
That Grant Hill is a Piston.
Not a Magic.
That's what it did.
It did.
The long debate that Grant Hill is a Piston and not a Magic.
Yeah. Yeah, so we go by most games played. So if it's a player that's retired and they're in a USA, college, whatever, our rules are it goes to the team they played the most NBA games with. So, but shout out to Group Break Checklist. I know, he's busy and stuff. He went by the most years tenured. So Grant Hill was on the Magic for 8 years and he was on the Pistons for 7 years. But he played like 150 more games with the Pistons. Like, it wasn't even close. But so you had that separation. And some breakers went with the GBC rules, and we had our own rules. So you had some guys that would say, "Oh, I bought the Magic just to get the Grant Hill," and it's like, and now Grant Hill came out and you gave it to the Pistons. It's like, I think of Grant Hill as a Piston. All of his cards that were not USA in the set were the Pistons. So
yeah, that's what I got out of that.
That's the biggest takeaway.
That's it.
That's the biggest takeaway. And then you had, a class that I don't know. I think it still has some potential, but the 15-16 class. Highlighted by Devin Booker, and also some beautiful Kobe's. I think they introduced those now and then autos. So you got the picture of Kobe in the 24 and then the picture in the 8, which I think was really cool.
That was 15, right?
15-16.
They also did the now and then or something similar to it in football.
Yeah. Yep. So you had Devin Booker was the highlight, and then you go to the 16-17 year, which was kind of funky. Did I skip 14-15 here? No, we talked about 14-15. 16-17, Simmons is an Upper Deck exclusive for autographs. So you cannot find a Panini autograph of Ben Simmons, even to this day. You cannot find a Ben Simmons autograph on Panini. But since the Panini has the NBA PA license, you can use the likeness of any active player. So this is what happened with Simmons, which made me all in on him, and I bought a lot of Simmons, was the fact that he was not going to have autographs. So he's going to have less cards throughout the year. So I felt like his silvers, all the parallel prisms were going to be very, very valuable. Now, they've went up a little bit, but not as much as I expected, probably based on performance, based on the Sixers not getting the job done. But more importantly, this year introduced the Logo Man into Flawless, which I think at first was like, should it be in Flawless? I don't know. But you had the Flawless, so it added another element of chase to these very, very high-end boxes. Now we have almost 100 Logo Mans in this year's Flawless. But they started off small. They actually had, you can see this, Anthony Davis had a diamond in it, so they did Diamond Flawless as well. So what are your thoughts on that season?
That was crazy. I mean, I think Conrad pulled 3 or 4 Ben Simmons diamonds, and I think that was the introduction, the first year that they did first off the line.
Yep, I was just thinking that.
So, and they had the paralleled to 3
on the first off the line. We pulled a Simmons, didn't we?
We pulled a Simmons. That Simmons was, you take the prism out of the equation, that was probably the number 1 rookie card to get throughout the whole calendar.
Was the diamond, yeah, because they're the shortest printed. I mean, maybe beyond like the Gallows or Downtowns that came out that year too. But yeah, I mean, Simmons is one to watch. We'll see. This is like, make or break. Still might be time to get in on him because I feel like his
first
prices
off the
are
line
low.
is going on 3-4 years now.
16, 17, 17, 18, 16, 17, 17, 18. Yeah, fourth year.
Fourth year.
First off the line was crazy. This is another time flies when you're having fun. And then we had 17-18, which at the beginning of the year was highlighted by Lonzo, right? You had Lonzo and you had Fultz, who went number 1 overall. And then the LeVar Lonzo hype. But at the end of the year, people were chasing Tatum. People were chasing Mitchell. So you can see the rookie patch auto here of Tatum, which was in high demand. And I just love this LeBron. That came from that same year. Probably one of the last Cavs ones. But just Flawless is known for the big, game-use patches. And then, of course, we have last year that really kind of transcended to what the prices are now. Because you've got Luka Doncic cards that people are trying to sell for $250,000. That card is on eBay right now. That Luka Doncic RPA is on eBay for $250,000. So that obviously that's why, you can't afford that, but maybe you can get in and get the Zion or the Ja out of the new one, right? So that's what's pushing the price up on the newest one.
And since we're talking logo mans and we're talking Flawless, 17-18, if I'm not mistaken, was the year that they changed the NBA jerseys, and the logo mans were not a different design, but like a different material.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah. It wasn't as stitched. It was more print.
Yeah.
Yep. That's and I think you could see it in that Colin Sexton.
You can see it, and then if you go, and then the Anthony Davis, you can see the old one.
Yeah, you can absolutely see. Yep. I prefer the old one, but hey, you can't get the old one. What's even cooler when you get like a Karl Malone and it's like old. Those logo mans are insane looking. But I would check out the checklist is out for Flawless. Check out the logo mans. Not only do they have logo mans, they have the champ tag autos. They have logo man autographs, logo mans. They have dual logo mans. I was just like we were just talking about the Zion, LeBron. There's also a LeBron Giannis dual logo man. I mean, this is going to be insane, guys. So I felt like we had to do a special podcast just on Flawless. The timing is right. NBA's here. Cards are soaring. It's going to be crazy tomorrow. It's going to be literally crazy. So, and honestly, group breaks are one of the best ways to get into. So definitely check out our site, Mojobreak.com. We didn't get a whole lot, but we're going to try to get more for you guys. We're going to try to do as much as we can of the newest Flawless release. But even if that's a little bit too expensive for your price point, we're still doing Hoops Premium, where you can get the premium rookies of Ja and Zion and Hero and chase those LeBron goals and stuff like that. So, but that's all we got for right now. We do have the interview, so don't go nowhere. We got the StarStock interview coming up right now. All right. What is up, everybody? It's Doug here with Mojobreak the Hype podcast. I'm here with Scott Greenberg of StarStock. If you're not familiar with StarStock, Scotty is the co-founder and CEO of StarStock, a marketplace for sports fans and card hobbyists to buy, sell, and invest in their favorite athletes. The unique platform stores sports cards in a secure, centralized vault, which creates a stock market feel where fans can make trades at scale and gain instant ownership at the point of the trade. Scott, what's going on, man?
What's going on? Thanks for having me on.
Appreciate that, man. Let's talk about how you got started in the hobby.
Yeah, so I've been collecting in the hobby for my whole life, with about a 5 to 10 year break in between. Grew up a really big collector. My PC was basically New York sports teams and Syracuse players. Then I took a break for a few years and got back into it really heavily last year, or 2 years ago now. Wow. And I like to think of myself kind of as half collector, half trader. So spend half my time finding grail cards, which are mostly basketball and golf cards, and the other half trading and using that money to buy my collection.
I know you guys have been probably drawing some comparisons to COMC as, the way the marketplace works, but why should collectors choose StarStock over COMC?
Well, I can tell people why they should use StarStock. I think that, for the sets that we take, we're the best option out there. On the sell side, we really focused on taking a lot of work out of the seller's hands. For me, I loved buying cards. It was really exciting. I loved receiving them in the mail. I loved the idea of selling them and making a profit. But the bittersweet part for me was when I had a sale, that's kind of when all my work started. Had to print out the shipping label, had to get the packing supplies, card goes into a penny sleeve, top loader, plain white envelope, and then a box, and then to the post office. It's a lot of work. Right. And for me, I was dealing in, my strategy was to deal in more of like the low and middle end market, but to buy at scale. And so to buy, $115 cards instead of buying like a $1,500 card. And so I found that I was going to the post office multiple times a day, or, a few times a week, and it was really exhausting. And so what we focused on was making it less work for the sellers, and then also making it cheaper and allowing them to profit more. And so our 5% seller fees are, if not the best out there, really close. And we take a lot of work off your hands. You can do one bulk shipment to us at a time. You can send us 10,000 cards at a time if you want. We'll process them all for you. We store them. They're backed by insurance. They're backed by 24-hour security. And then you can list them for sale. And when they sell, there's no work for you. You get an email saying that your card's sold. If the buyer decides they want the card to be shipped to them, we take care of that, not you. And so I think that's, really a game changer on the sell side. And then on the buy side, we kind of tried to do the same thing. There's no sales tax. Our vault is in New Hampshire, and so we make it more affordable. You don't need to ship the cards, and so a lot of people like to. But for the type of moves that I was making, it was actually a liability for me to have the cards in hand. And it just
the amount of time it takes to get to you and stuff like that as well factored in.
Yeah. Or so you buy one of these players, you're at the bar with your friends and he pops off for 40 points. Like, let's say you had Talon Horton Tucker last week, right? We're in coronavirus, so you're not at the bar, but if you were at the bar or you're at the airport, or, you're at a family event and Talon Horton Tucker pulls off, goes off, what are you going to do? Like, go home and go take pictures and then list them up onto eBay or leave the bar? And so what we allow you to do is, as soon as you see the best opportunity to get rid of your player, your cards are on your phone and on your computer. And so you can pull it up no matter where you are, and you can list it in a matter of seconds. And so we give you that opportunity to flip the card at the most optimal moment.
Yeah, I mean, that's the beauty of it all, is when I'm looking at it, is the flipping aspect of it, is being able to, like you just said, like I was looking at Marcus Mariota the other day. You know what I mean? He got the start and his prisms were like $2, right? So, it's a moment that maybe if they won that game and then going into the next game and the Raiders have playoff opportunities, you have those cards waiting to flip right away. And I think that's what maybe a lot of collectors don't understand about this new stuff, is that you can literally buy a card and flip it within seconds. Yeah. How many times, is there like a record out there with you guys' site of how many times the card's been bought and sold in one day?
We've had a few cases of like one individual card selling like 3 or 4 times in a day.
That's awesome.
And so it's cool. Like, it takes a week or a week and a half for a card to get shipped from one person to another. And so for us to be able to have 3 or 4 owners of that card in a matter of 24 or 48 hours is really cool. We saw a good amount of that in the bubble back when in July and August, and we see it somewhat frequently because we basically, one of the things that I identified as a gap in the market was with fantasy football and sports betting. You make your call before the game, but then once the game starts, there's nothing you can do. You can't adjust your lineup. You can't change your bet. But on StarStock, you can buy a player before the game, and if they go for 25 points in the first half, you can sell him. Or if they throw 3 touchdowns in the first quarter, you can sell him. And so we've created a product where you can like watch the game and you can engage with the product and actually do things while you're watching.
Absolutely. And one of the features I like compared to your guys' competitor is the fact that you guys have kind of what's hot. And you guys have focused in on the brands that are, the ones that are going to sell, that are ones that are in demand at the moment. Now, the market constantly changes, but, we have people coming into our shop or coming into our live feed and they're like, what do I invest in, right? Because there's so many different options out there. There's 40, 50 sets of each sport every year. And, like, let's say rookies and stars is not going to be as comparable in price as a Prism rookie. So, what was the theory behind that and how was that implemented?
Yeah, so 2 things. You hit on one of them. In our opinion, these are the best cards. These are the ones that are probably the best investments, in my opinion. And in our opinion, like you said, the market moves fast. And so Prism dies out in 2 years and there's a new, card on top. Right. We'll react and we'll start adding those. But so that was one element to it. The second element was just simplicity, And so I was, I got really, really into sports cards a couple years ago. My friends have always been big sports bettors and fantasy players. And so immediately went to them and said, look, you guys are missing out. You guys got to do this. And one of the things that I noticed with my friends was the barrier to entry just with like the education process is super high. And so what we wanted to enable people to do is, let's say you're not a crazy sports card guy, but you want to get into it, and you know that Zion's undervalued, or you know that Luka's undervalued, or whoever it is. We want to enable you to come to StarStock and see like 4 or 5 brands and not like 30 of them. And that was really the goal there. And then, another thing is just, we want to spend our time processing cards that is worthwhile, that we know are going to sell. And I think that's one of the reasons why we have really good processing times.
So now people can send in all those cards, and you guys do a great job. If you guys go to starstock.com, it tells you basically what cards you guys are accepting through all those different sports. Now, I know I think it said you guys had like 200,000 cards actively on the site. How do you guys prepare for if you got 300,000 this week? How do you prepare and you scale for something like that?
Yeah. So we're at I think we have over 350,000.
Nice.
We get, anywhere from 20 to 40,000 cards a week right now. If you ask someone that's been an OG StarStock user from back in May, mid-June, when we started getting a good amount of cards, our submission times were like 4 to 6 weeks about. And we spent a lot of time scaling up our ops, hiring people, as well as building tools to allow us to process these cards faster. For us,
Nice.
the first priority has always been the conditioning and taking care of the cards. And so we wanted to be really careful with how we scaled up the process and made sure that we're taking care of the cards. That's priority number one. And so I think around June, we were processing a few hundred cards onto the site a day. Now we have capabilities to do 5,000 or 6,000 cards added onto the site every single day. And so we've worked hard on that. We're continuing to scale it up as well. And so it would be a good issue to have if we got
right. Well, I mean, that's the thing, is it's hard to predict, where the market's going and how many more people are coming in. I mean, it feels like thousands a week are coming into this hobby, and you guys are in a good place because you have, all the top cards, and I love your guys' NBA Emerging 30, which is very unique. You don't see that on other sites. So I like, having that data for collectors to say, hey, Devontae Graham, his cards are going up. Maybe I need to get in this rookie card. Now he's playing with LaMelo, so maybe he's going to get some assists and he's going to score some more points. So this is the guy I'm into. So how many people do you guys have working? I mean, that data seems like it's hard to get that out and be consistent with it.
Yeah, no, it's really cool. We're definitely excited about it. We're trying to build like a one-stop shop where you can come and you can do a lot of your research on our site too. So you don't need to be so you don't need to have like 3 or 4 tabs open at once. And so we added in game schedules a couple weeks ago. The NBA index, certainly. We have like a latest sales ticker at the bottom, so you can see what's selling, and also just like a top sold cards of the week and of the day as well. About 6 weeks ago, we switched over to like a new format on the marketplace that's kind of like the different windows. And so that will allow us to display way more data, because we can basically create new categories and we can put cards into the categories. And so we're definitely going to be adding a lot more in the future. But we have just an extremely talented team here. Operations team is amazing, customer service team, and our engineering team's fantastic as well. And so they're the ones behind a lot of the cool data that you're seeing on our website.
Yeah, I love it. I'm a Niner fan, and I'm like, December 26th, Niners at Arizona, players to watch. Kyler Murray, Brandon Ayuk, and you can kind of click and see their cards in real time and see, it's just really intuitive. I like how it all works. So I'm a big fan of the site. I'm going to actually start sending some of my cards there. So for sure. And it looks like you guys even are starting to have some sealed wax on there and everything. So that's amazing.
Yeah, the wax is probably one of the most exciting releases that we've had. For me personally, I'm just amped about it. We put it out, I want to say, about 2 weeks ago, maybe a week and a half. And last week, we just got hundreds of sealed products sent to us.
Nice.
So it's really, really cool to see that people were, seeing that we were accepting wax, but also sending it in. And so I think it's really cool. We launched, basically why we did it is we launched the index, and the response was great from that. People liked the idea of being able to, buy into trading cards, but not necessarily need to buy a player. And so with launching Wax, we offer a way for people to invest in what I think of as like a draft class index. Because if you're buying sealed product from 2019, it's like you're splitting your investment between Zion, Ja Morant, RJ Barrett, Kobe White, Tyler Hero. If you're buying it from 2018, it's Luka Doncic, Trae Young, Marvin Bagley, etc. And so it's just another way for people to get exposure to the asset class of trading cards without needing to just pick one individual player. And so
now, same thing with the cards. The cards, you can get it, the Wax, you can get it shipped, or you can have it on your site still as well, right?
Same model. Yep. You want the Wax shipped out, we'll ship it home to you. Shipping times for that will actually be easier than shipping individual cards. But if you want to keep it on the site and try to flip it, then that's fine with us as well.
Have you guys ever thought about getting into something where like, hey, we'll have you guys break it and then put the cards on there? And I mean, I know obviously some of the vets couldn't go on there, but maybe some of the big name rookies, if somebody's like willing to do something like that instantly where they have it right on your site.
Yeah, it'd be pretty cool, huh?
Yeah. I know it's a lot of work. I mean,
yeah, no, definitely something we've thought about a little bit. So we'll see, maybe.
Yeah, definitely, man. Well, yeah, I'm just, I digging through the site. I love how you guys have the presentation and stuff. And I can't wait to see your guys' growth. Cause I mean, already out of the gate, you guys haven't even you said the site went live in May. So you guys have already improved it to the point where it's at now, which is amazing.
Yeah. Like our team here, we're a team of card collectors and card traders. So we have a lot of fun coming here every day. Everyone's super passionate about the hobby, and we're all, buying and selling cards ourselves. And so the way we see it is like, we're just trying to build the product that we want. The launch has been a success. Super appreciative for, all of our kind of early adopters and early users. The feedback we get from people are incredible. Like the 3 or 4 features that we were just talking about all came from feedback.
Nice.
90% of our good ideas come from other people. Right. And so we're definitely very appreciative for that.
Awesome, man. And now, have you guys ever thought about doing trading, like where assets aren't being exchanged, just cards are being exchanged?
Yeah, we've thought about it. Like, I think about it quite a bit. I haven't really in my head thought about a good way for how it would work. There's a lot of complications that come with it in terms of how we make money on it and how we make one of my biggest concerns really is just how spammy things can get really, really fast. Right. Like, if you have a Luka Doncic PSA 10 Prism, you're going to get 100 offers a day for people that want to sell you like a Kevin Porter Jr. Donruss $10 card for your $2,000 Luka. And so there's obviously things that we can build into the product where you can set your minimum price or, whatever it is. So there's certainly things we could do there. I just don't think we're quite ready for it yet, but it's definitely something that we've thought about a bit. But to be honest,
or maybe like StarStock points, like you have to have this card's worth this amount of points and it has to be traded for a card that's worth this amount of points. So because then you're also, like a salary cap, because then you're protecting maybe somebody that makes a bad trade too, right? Because, maybe somebody that's new in the hobby is like, I'll sell this stuff. I'll trade this Steph Curry card for a Kevin Porter Jr. card. And then they didn't realize what they did, right? Yeah. So maybe if you had the points, maybe you're protected, right? So it has to be like a Madden trade, where it has to be the same amount of points.
That's really interesting. I really like that approach. That might be the approach. That's pretty cool. And I like the salary cap aspect of it. Any way you can kind of tie in some, real sports action into it. That's really cool.
Yeah, I was just thinking about that, like how, because I was thinking about the aspect of like, I don't want somebody to be like that's trading to be taken advantage of. You know what I mean? Like, so maybe by having the point scale, they're like, well, this is what's that?
And like people make mistakes, and so every once in a while we'll get an email from someone. So we have a very strict no refund policy because we hate some of the stuff that we're seeing out there with refunds after 2 months and things like that. But we will get emails once in a while from people that are like, hey, I by accident typed in this number instead of that number. And so I could see that being a common issue that we'd have with trading. But that might be one of the better ways to kind of work around some of the spamminess for sure.
Yeah, but then I guess it gets tricky too, because they maybe like Zion's worth X amount of points, and then he breaks his leg, and somebody tries to take advantage of somebody, like being like, "Oh, I'll trade you that," you know. But I guess the person has to still accept it either way. So, but it's a fun conversation because, you know, the trading is the essence of our community, and nobody's really figured out a way to do it digitally, right? It's all, you know, people try to do it through forums and have middlemen, and it's not really worth somebody's time. But, you know, a site like your guys is where, you know, just getting them to come in, it's kind of like a card shop with a PSA submission, right? They're not going to make a lot of money from the PSA submission, but the fact that the person's coming back in the store is what you want, right? So if somebody has the ability to trade, then they may also be spending on the site as well.
Totally. The goal for me is to become so liquid where if you want to move that one card for another, that there are, you know, already a good amount of offers at whatever that guy's value is, that you can get rid of him and buy the next one, and just do that super easy because we're really liquid in those players. That's kind of
and you guys are on the right track. You guys are on the right track with the fact that it's, you know, condensed amount of players. Because if you had the whole catalog and you have a guy trading a 101 for a number to 20, and it's like you can't even find any comps on the 101s, right? So if you're just dealing with the Prism base, then you have that data, you have the sales data to really kind of make sure that that trade is fair or, you know, equal.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I wanted to talk about some of the market movers before we let you go, Scott. What's that?
So I was just saying we'll pick up this conversation some other time. I think that you're onto something. I haven't thought about it the way that you're thinking about it.
I got some ideas for group breaks too, since that's what our bread and butter is too. But I definitely have ways that maybe group breaks could be involved with you guys.
We'll have to connect after the call.
Definitely, man. Well, last week's top performers, I wanted to see what your thoughts were on, you know, Devontae Graham, OG Anunoby, and Kobe White being the last week's top performers.
Yeah, interesting. I'm definitely interested about the Devontae Graham with LaMelo Ball showing up in town. I thought that was pretty intriguing. I guess it could go one of both ways, right? You either think that LaMelo's going to lift up everybody on that team and make them a little bit more relevant, and he's a really good passer, so maybe you think Devontae gets a few more open threes, or you could think that LaMelo's just going to take a lot of the, you know, the touches away from him. I thought that was pretty interesting. And OG is a really good player. He's someone who I think has the potential to make a big jump this year, and has a pretty good floor. And who was the third?
Kobe White.
Kobe White's a stud. Guy's a stud. I mean, I remember watching him at UNC. I caught a bunch of his games, and he is just super, super talented. I think that, you know, the sky's the limit for him. Such an exciting draft class from last year. I mean, we might look back at that class as one of the best ones of you know, this decade.
Yep. That's the beauty of this hobby is you got guys that are basically maybe priced out of Zion, priced out of Ja Morant, priced out of Tyler Hero. And then it's just like, what's the next one? I don't want to miss on the next one because maybe I've missed on these guys, right? So you see this, and that's just shows you how big the hobby is at this moment, right? It's just that, you know, there's 10 to 12 to 15 guys from rookie classes that are selling well and going up. It's crazy. I think I saw a Baisley Gold Prism go for like $8,000 or something like that. I mean, it was just unheard of. You know, I could not believe it. And every day I come in here and I see some eBay listings or stuff like that, and it just blows my mind. But it's a good problem to have.
It's a good problem to have. There's so much interest in the hobby right now, and it's been really exciting to see. I think we're just getting started here.
Yeah, definitely, man. Well, tell people how to find your site and, you know, where to find you guys on social media and, you know, give a little shout.
Yeah, for sure. StarStock.com is the site. You can find us on social, on Twitter and Instagram at StarStock Market. And you can email us if you want, contact at StarStock, support at StarStock. My email is Scott at StarStock if you need to get me. We love hearing from you guys. So if you try the site, or if you haven't tried the site, but you have feedback or an opinion or anything, shoot us a DM, shoot us an email. We love it. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, thanks for joining us today, Scott. I appreciate the time, man. I love the site. I'm going to be I got probably 200 cards I'm headed your way here shortly, man. So I'm going to get them all ready and get them out there.
Can't wait. We'll have to get on another podcast in a few weeks once they're in the system.
All right, guys, that is it for the Hype 169. I'd like to thank Scott Greenberg for jumping on the show. We had a great conversation. You guys got to check out StarStock. I mean, they've really just kind of changed the game when it comes to, we had COMC and now we have StarStock. StarStock's so much more modern, really focused on the cards that are moving every day as opposed to, and COMC is great. I'm not trashing on COMC, but, if you got like a 1988 card, you could send everything to them. But StarStock is more focused on the cards that are going to be moving on a daily basis. So definitely check them out, starstock.com. For your breaks, check out mojobreak.com. We're going to be live here the weekend. Hope everybody has a great Christmas. Be safe out there. We're going to be doing more Flawless and stuff on Saturday and Sunday and throughout the week. Bowman's Best is brand new. But that's all we got. Follow us on Twitter at Mojobreak_com, our Mojobreak media channel on YouTube for upcoming content. And that is it. Merry Christmas, guys. Peace.